Hello everyone, this is Sevens, and this is Module 2.4 Building Basics Bedroom Buildings. This module should be pretty simple. We're going to be organizing it now and for the next several modules based on the room overlay, and so we're going to be tackling in this particular episode barracks, luxury barracks, and the private bedroom, as well as the different beds. Don't worry about this floating bed, we'll get to it in a second. The very first room is the barracks. This is likely the very first room you're going to be building when starting out. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. It just has to meet the requirements, which is that it's enclosed in some way and that it has a minimum size of 12 tiles and a maximum size of 64. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 4, 16. I can do math. 16 tiles, it even tells you right there. And a few other requirements for the barracks is that it must have no industrial machinery inside. It needs to also have one or more beds. This means that it could have a comfy bed, but most people will start out with just using the cot. You can have several cots in there, and it'll still be a barracks, so that's not an issue. And so it's pretty wise to go ahead and have the barracks set up, especially when you have duplicants that start learning a lot more skills. The reason for this, let us spawn in a duplicant real quick. Today we have Lindsay. Hello, Lindsay. Hope you're doing well. When Lindsay learns more skills, for example, let's say improved farming, right below her picture, you can see that she gets one red bar added if she did learn this skill. That means she's more stressed out. But if Lindsay was assigned to this bed right here, boom, she would sleep in this. And because she would be sleeping in this room, if we go over barracks, under effects, it says +1 morale. The morale refers to this green bar right here, and you can get several more green bars in other ways. You can also see that same information if you clicked the room overlay button and just highlighted the room itself. It'll say barracks and it'll say all of the other details you need. The next type of room is the luxury barracks. It works pretty much the same as this one, but with a few other requirements. You can have one or more comfy beds. This is a comfy bed. We'll go over the different bed types in a second. With the luxury barracks, you cannot have any cots, so none of these. You can have no industrial machinery. It must have a minimum size of 12 tiles and a maximum size of 64 tiles. It must have one decor item. I like using hanging pots, and I'll often put plants in. It looks really nice when you do that. And then the other requirement is that it needs to have a minimum height of 4 tiles. So in this case, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the ceiling. And just like before, it needs to be enclosed. The next room is the private bedroom. We're going to go ahead and assign Lindsay to this nice room. The private bedroom must have only one single comfy bed. It must have no cots. The room size changes. It must have a minimum size of 24 tiles and a maximum size of 64 tiles. It has a minimum height of 4 tiles. It must also have 2 decor items. I have also used hanging pots, but you could use, a marble block or some of the other decor pieces that you have as well. It must also have no industrial machinery, and one of the biggest differences is that it must have back wall tiles. In this case, you would just make drywall, and you can decorate it with whatever you have available, and it'll be back there. The barracks gives you +1 morale, while the luxury barracks gives you +2, and the private bedroom gives you +3. The advantage of these two is you can have multiple beds in them. Because of that, the private bedroom can get quite big, especially if you have 12 or so duplicants, meaning you have to make several of these. But at the same time, if you enjoy giving your duplicants the best life, then you can do that as well. Alright, so now Lindsay received the private bedroom bonus, and if we go over here and highlight this, she has +3 in morale because of sleeping in the private bedroom. While she sleeps, let's go over the bed types that we have. We have the cot, and the cot gives you plus 100 stamina per cycle, 25 health per cycle for health, and provides no decor. Compare that to the comfy bed, which gives you 200 instead of 100, 25 health per cycle, and has a decor of 15. There is another bed to make note of, and that is the ladder bed. The benefit of the ladder bed is that you can stack them and they can climb up. And this can keep going for quite a good bit. This also still works in the barracks situation because it simply says one or more beds, so it doesn't really care about what kind of bed, just as long as the other criteria are met. The ladder bed gives 100 stamina per cycle, just like the cot, and has a health regen of plus 25 per cycle, and decor of 0. One thing to make note of is when a duplicant climbs this, there is minus 25% for their run speed, so, you know, takes a little bit. And if one duplicant's here and another one climbs up to this one, it can disturb the duplicant here, so keep that in mind. And that pretty much covers the different bedrooms that exist. It's very important to have your colony kind of planned out a little bit so that each one can easily sleep. I recommend having a bedroom set up at least one of these two. Probably this one first, as soon as possible. Making plastic for the comfy bed, that is one of the things that is a challenge. It will be a challenge. But with the cots, you can make it out of a lot of beginner materials. And then for the ladder beds, it does require refined materials, so that might come later. And then decorating does not really require all that many fancy materials unless you really want to go all out with, like, you know, this marble block right here. But yeah, that pretty much covers this section. I'm Sevens, and I will see you guys in the next one.